Hello, so welcome to our part 2 video. We are smaller because I had to switch cameras because for some reason it kept deleting our video like halfway through. So hopefully we can get through this one without it happening. We will see. So,
and if it does, I'm done.
Yeah, she's getting really frustrated. So we have done the rest of our face pretty much. We just did our highlight, bronzer, all that. Yeah, our eyes.
This is the highlighter that I used. It's the State one, like by Jeffree Star.
No, not Jeffree Star.
Which one is it?
I don't know who this one is by, actually. We do have a Jeffree Star one that you like, but this is not it. It's called Do Me by Lit. I don't know. It's just one that we got in an Ipsy bag. I ended up giving it to her because she really liked it.
This one.
The Ofra. So basically we're back to talk about what we had spoken about in our last video. This one is much more kid friendly because we are going to be talking about Mishka as well as, you know, myself still, and, you know, for you guys that have these same issues. I am new to videos, like I said in the last one, but I do want to create these because I want it to be a safe space for people that are struggling right now as parents, even if you're not a parent, parents with kids, and you're struggling with mental disability as well as being quarantined. This is a really tough time for everybody around the world right now. As I stated in my last video, this is the time for me to have seasonal depression. And with having to be quarantined and having my children both in virtual school, it just ended up being the best option for me to go ahead and quit my job. I have been with Sephora for 1.5 years. Did you do mascara?
Yeah,
okay,
it was the big ego, but I have to like...
No, it's okay. I just couldn't see it.
Do you have that thing?
Curler?
Yeah.
It's right there on the vanity. So we pretty much have touched base on bipolar. There, of course, are a lot of different illnesses out there, and you are welcome to be a part of this video. I'm just touching base on my personal disorder right now. Hopefully in the future videos, if I do get, you know, people watching and people having questions, I would like to touch base on more than just bipolar depression and anxiety. There's, you know, type 2 bipolar, there's schizophrenia, there's multiple personality disorders, there's, you know, even people with fibromyalgia and things like that. I did go to college for a little bit and I did study and I really enjoyed it. However, with having crippling bipolar, I ended up leaving college. I think it was 2 years ago now, probably. I think.
About 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was, my oldest daughter was too involved with school at that time and ballet and things like that. And then my younger daughter got into it. So it was hard for me to kind of juggle all of that as well as dealing with my mental health. I said in my last video that I was, stop that, that I was diagnosed, because people don't want to like watch you do that, honey.
Stretch.
Yeah, she's being silly right now, most 10-year-olds. But plus we've tried to record this second video 3 times, so I think she's getting a little antsy and bored. But I really wanted her here to touch base for those kids out there that are also quarantined and struggling with anxiety and dealing with virtual schooling. Mishka is having some anxiety, some frustrations. She does not like math, and virtual school for her is really hard because I'm not good at math, and the new math that's out is proving a little bit harder to help her with. So she is dealing with that. She's no longer on medication because she was staying with her dad for a little while, and due to unforeseen circumstances, she ended up coming back this week to live with me again. And I do have custody of her, so we did make that decision based off of her wanting to stay with her dad. But like I said, she is now back with me, so we are planning to get her back in therapy, hopefully back on some medication if she does need that. So far, we're doing okay, but you know, it does happen to where we do need certain medications. In that drawer.
Like your little ones.
In the drawers. The Kat Von D ones. Or KVD. So, you know, we have been struggling with Mishka and going through those issues with school and with being quarantined. She does go outside sometimes to play, and you know, obviously neighborhood kids are out there, but we do try to keep our 6-foot distance when doing that. We don't go out very much. When we do, it's mainly grocery shopping and things like that. We aren't just going out to go out, and unfortunately we're not really seeing family right now either. I will go into my own backstory at a different time, just because Mishka's here, but that backstory does tell about, you know, how my bipolar ended up rearing its head and how I ended up, you know, ending up finding out that I was bipolar. There's a lot of traumatic things in there, as well as the fact that I did grow up in foster care. I have an amazing mom. She's had me since I was 14, and I was a little wild. I was not diagnosed, of course, at that age. They don't really like to diagnose kids with bipolar at a young age. That one's pretty. They did try to diagnose me with bipolar at one point, but I had not experienced enough of sorry, I just had a moment where I lost my train of thought. I had not experienced enough of the signs of bipolar yet to really diagnose that as a disorder. So, you know, that kind of took away the medication and things like that when I was young. But back to Mishka's anxiety.
Smells good.
And her train of thought over here is kind of railing. She's 10, so can't blame her. I kind of wanted this to be like the first one, family friendly, but also aware that you as a parent have to decide if you would like your children to be involved with this video or watch this video. My hopes are that with Mishka being here and talking about her own anxiety, her own depression, that it will help families understand and relate to us as well. We understand, you know, that it's crippling for you. We understand that some days you don't want to get out of bed.
Mommy, can I put this on my lips? Or use my finger?
You can put it on your lips. We're trying to also still finish our face as well. But Mishka struggled with a lot of anger issues for a while. She struggled with severe anxiety. And back when we were trying to decide if she was going to live with her dad, she was, I don't want to use the word manic because she's not, you know, displaying those different types of things, but she was definitely going through some issues. She hasn't really had the best upbringing between both houses because her dad also struggles with bipolar and pretty severe depression. Sometimes he does take his medication, sometimes he doesn't. So she ends up dealing with that as well. Ooh, girl.
I got eczema color.
That's a good color. You're very neutral today compared to Mommy's look. We are definitely different here, but that's good. We have both different things. So kind of all over the place, which for those of you that know, that's part of it too. I have been medicated for 3 years. Mishka was medicated for about a year before she got off of her medication. And she's been doing so far so good. We have our moments, but she's been doing a lot better with her anxiety. We've noticed that giving her responsibilities and chores, and, you know, she does get paid for those, but giving her that responsibility has helped her a lot. And just kind of talking about it, taking space. What else do you think has helped with anxiety? Getting in a good...
Playing or coloring with things.
Yeah, she likes slime. That helps her.
Like a Rubik's Cube.
Yep, she does things to kind of cope.
Sometimes it doesn't work though, because then I get too frustrated. But
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that she tries to deal with most stuff with coping skills. And I've noticed too that the biggest issue is having a good schedule. If there's a disruption in the daily schedule, then she kind of does have an issue with that. It can cause almost like a tantrum, and she's 10, so a lot of people don't really understand or expect that, but she does kind of have tantrums where she kind of breaks down. You're welcome to go and like watch YouTube or something if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Or watch a movie, because I can see you're getting antsy. How about you spray your face as well? So, she does deal with that, and we try to cope together. It is hard some days for both of us because having bipolar, I do get really impatient some days, and I apologize. Our camera went sideways because of our dog. But
before I do this,
having bipolar, I have my moments where I'm really impatient, where noises bother me, where I can't, get out of bed, which I stated in my last video. She's very patient with that, and most days pretty understanding, but it does come down to me having a 4-year-old as well, and in the mornings she's up and ready to go, and Mishka ends up, putting her on the TV until I can get out of bed and, do what I have to do as a parent.
And getting waffles.
Yeah, so she likes to cook. She's very good at making pancakes. I can't remember if we touched base on that in our last video or if it was one of our cut out videos. And the other thing that we mentioned was getting an animal. So we did mention that before we got cut off in our videos. Maverick is our dog, Maverick Loki. He is actually the reason that the camera went sideways a minute ago. He's sleeping right now. He's a spoiled, rotten dog. He's a year old, and he's been a saving grace for both of us. We lost our cat, who we had had for 3 years, and my youngest daughter pretty much grew up with her. She was huge for us, as far as, the cuddling, the security, the need to have that companion. It was a lot easier having a cat, but it also did not help either of us really kind of get up, get moving, have the responsibility. And some days it's still really hard with Maverick. I can't lie. Some days I really just don't want to get up and take him out. Some days that is on Mishka. She has to get up and take him out.
Sometimes I don't want to.
And sometimes she doesn't want to. Sometimes it's, we're both not feeling ourselves. We're both depressed, or, it's just hard. But we decided to get him because we knew that he would help with Mishka's anxiety, and that he would help with me having severe depression seasonally. So he's been so good to us and so good in our lives. So that's one thing that I do recommend to people. If you are able to, if you have the capability, if you're allowed where you live to have an animal, especially a dog, that really has helped us. He's been amazing as a part of our life. So I definitely recommend that. I had to get a doctor's note because where I live does not allow animals, but he is a therapy animal. So we were able to get him in our house for that. And same with our cat. We had to get a note for her. So if you are able to, if you are an animal lover,
hamsters.
Yeah, we did have hamsters. We had 3 hamsters. One of them escaped. We don't know where he went. To this day, we don't know where he went. We actually moved a couple months ago, so that's why I'm doing this on my bed as well, because...
It was like 3 months ago when we moved.
Yeah. So I'm doing this on my bed as well because I still have not really gotten everything in order. My vanity's a little bit of a mess right now. Plus, honestly, we know how it feels to be in bed. So what I stated in the last video is we're not actually going anywhere today. We just decided to do makeup and
flatten hair.
We're going to flat iron her hair at some point. I don't know when that's going to be, but even if she does it herself, that's fine.
I'm going to need help.
But we definitely understand. I understand more so than Mishka what it feels like to be in bed. And sometimes just sitting in bed, putting makeup on is better than, just laying in bed altogether. Lately, my goal has been, even if you can get up and get out of bed for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know, take your medicine and get something to eat. That is better than, you know, dwelling on what you didn't do for the day. I have tried to learn that recently, especially with quarantine, that, you know, I can't dwell on the fact that I spent most of the day in bed. That is unfortunately part of my disease, and I do try to get up, try to interact. Now, of course, I do that mainly on days that I don't have my kids. They are with their dads. I'm never in bed an entire day with my kids, just because obviously they need my help. They need, you know, me to be there. And so that is one of the hardest parts, I think, about being a parent with mental illness and having to be quarantined. You find yourself wanting to just get back in bed and watch Netflix all day. So that's really hard. I don't know. Is there anything you want to say about your anxiety or your depression? She's still stuck on really doing her makeup. We wanted to make these videos for families, for kids, for parents, just for anybody really that's struggling right now. It's hard not seeing your family. It's hard, you know, not being able to see your friends, not being able to live a normal life. And then when you do struggle with mental disabilities and, you know, depression especially, it can be really hard. And we wanted this to be a safe space for people to talk, for people to come and, you know, see that you're not alone in it. See that, you know, as a mom, I'm going through it. As a woman, I'm going through it. As a child, she's going through it. My 4-year-old is going through it. You know, she does not have the same issues, of course, but she's getting pent up. She's getting antsy. She's getting into things. She's getting into trouble. That's just something that we all have to deal with right now. Virtual school is proving to be hard, and we wanted to make these videos just to let people know that they're not alone right now. I've looked through YouTube, and there are a lot of mental health videos, and, you know, it's helpful, and I hope you come across this one and it does help you to some extent. It looks really good.
Is it good or no?
Oh, yeah, it looks really good. She's going to show herself off. So, you know, that is our hope. She is antsy, of course, but we did discuss it before, and we just want to reach out to people because, you know, even right now, I'm talking, I'm doing makeup, but I'm exhausted. I want to go back to bed, and, you know, we may even have a little bit of a Netflix moment because it's exhausting. It's, you know, not really pretty outside right now.
And that's okay, because that means you just get to have family fun.
Yep, we do family day, makeup, hair. Like I said, just doing something. You know, I made my bed today, and we're sitting in the bed. We're, you know, bringing this video to you. We have taken the dog out. Well, she's taken the dog out. And, you know, we've tried to text and communicate with people. And sometimes just that, you know, is better than nothing at all. I encourage you to check on your friends and family. It's a lot harder for people than, you know, everybody's realizing. And it is unfortunate. There's a lot of people out there that are not getting the communication or the help that they need right now. And, you know, it does break my heart because there's kids that are going through this and they're at home, and they're stuck with people that don't really understand what they're going through. So it can be really hard. If you don't know what it's like to live with a mental illness, then it's hard to relate. But I encourage you as a family member even to reach out, to try to research, to try to be there to the best extent that you can. Even if you can't see each other, try to video chat. There are so many platforms now. You know, there's Google Duo, there's Zoom, there's FaceTime, you know, there are different methods to be able to communicate with your family. Even if you can't see them face to face, give them a phone call. Same with your friends, you know, just try to reach out. And that's what we wanted these videos to be about. I will go in depth more about my bipolar, my anxiety, my depression when Mishka is not present, because, you know, my own personal story growing up, I have my own traumas, and I have the trauma that led me to rear its ugly head of bipolar. You do have bipolar already, the gene in your brain, and I'm not really explaining that properly. Sorry about that, but I did go to school for several years and I really enjoyed learning about it. I learned about several different illnesses, several diseases, and a lot of them are very life changing. So I encourage you to look it up more if you're just coming here to learn about it. If you have it already, you know what it feels like. I'm just mainly touching on bipolar depression and anxiety today, but I will go into more illness and disease as my videos progress. And even if I don't get any views, I just hope that, you know, it helps me even by talking about it. I hope that it helps Mishka by talking about it, because I can relate. I can relate to those of you that are going through it. I can relate to the trauma that led you here. I can relate to having a child that has anxiety. I can, you know, relate to not getting out of bed. I can relate to not wanting to shower, you know, for the day. And a lot of people don't understand that, and it is unfortunate, but there are so many people in the world that have these different illnesses and can really relate to each other. I encourage you to join, you know, a group on Facebook even. I am in one myself personally, and it helps to know that other people are going through the same things that I'm going through. It helps to be able to talk it out. I also encourage you to leave anything in the comment section. I'm all for negative and positive. You know, I will tune out the negativity as best as possible, but that may be your way of coping for the day. And I just encourage you to reach out with any questions, even if you have questions for Mishka. If you have a child that has questions for Mishka, you know, right now she's kind of bored because this is our second video of the morning. So she is on her phone, but you know, we're welcome to answer questions. We're welcome to just, you know, put up another video for you if that helped you and encouraged you for the day. You know, that's kind of what we wanted to do with these videos. So hopefully you guys have a good day. It is the middle of the day. I think it's about, what, 1:30 now?
It's 1:37.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys have a good Monday. I know it's a holiday, so a lot of you guys aren't working. Hopefully you're able to enjoy that with the family that you do have that are living with you. And if you don't have family, I hope that you can reach out to friends and family at some point today, and just, you know, put a smile on your face. So we will talk to you later.